Welcome back to the Primal Professor. You know, I used to struggle with weight and inflammation and low energy, and no matter what I tried, nothing seemed to work. And then I made 3 changes. I ditched seed oils, I embraced healthy fats, and I went full-blown keto. The results? I lost 90 pounds. I reversed my insulin resistance, my non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, pre-diabetes, and I regained my energy. And here's the shocking part. Everything they told us about fats is wrong. And today I'm breaking down the best and worst fats for keto and why some are fueling your health while others are destroying it. Let's start with the best fats for keto. The ones that fuel your brain, metabolism, and hormones. These will keep you full, energized, and in fat burning mode. So let's start with the best animal-based fats. And they're saturated fats. So we have tallow, rich in soluble vitamins, supports metabolism, and it's been blamed for heart disease. But we now know that through new studies that this saturated fat does not cause or clog our arteries. Next, lard or pork fat. It's actually high in monounsaturated fat and vitamin D. It's used in baking and sautéing, and it was replaced by Crisco in 1911, but that's what we used before that. Then duck fat, that adds flavor. It's high in good fats, good for roasting and frying. Ghee. It's lactose-free, high in vitamin A and K2. You can cook with it at low heat, and some people put it in their coffee to make bulletproof coffee. Butter, great flavor, supports gut health as well as ghee. They're both high in butyrate, and it's good for low cooking, and again, to put in your coffee if you want to make a bulletproof coffee. There's fatty cut meats, high in healthy fats, not just saturated fat, but monounsaturated fat, which is essential for health. And then one of my favorites, I am a bacon lover, bacon fat. Adds smoky flavor to rich in healthy fats, cooking with eggs. I roast Brussels sprouts in it and other vegetables. And then egg yolks, right? Remember, they were bad. We were only supposed to eat the whites. They're high in choline. And they're also can be high if they're pasture raised in omega-3s. And then this one might be a little controversial. I think it depends on you personally. I have no problems with dairy, but there are some people who might be sensitive to dairy. If you're going to include dairy in your keto diet, and I eat yogurt and cottage cheese almost every day, you want to make sure that you're using the high-fat dairy. Whether it's yogurt, Greek yogurt, you want to use heavy cream instead of half and half. You want whole milk instead of 1%, 2%, or skim. So high-fat dairy, it's an excellent source of vitamins A, D, E, and K. It contains saturated fat and CLA. CLA is linked to improved body composition, fat loss, and anti-inflammatory benefits. And when you have the combination of high fat and protein, it's good for appetite control by reducing cravings and keeping you full longer. It's great for gut health. So next we'll talk about the plant-based saturated fats. Coconut oil is high in potassium, and MCT oil, which stands for medium chain triglycerides, they come from coconut as well. And the MCT oil is like rocket fuel for your brain. It converts directly in the liver to ketones and goes directly in your bloodstream. It's perfect for coffee and smoothies. If you have a big presentation, you really having a little bit of MCT oil, sometimes I'll throw it in a protein shake. Cacao butter, it helps to support the mitochondria, and you can put that in your keto chocolate or fat bombs. To be honest with you, I don't do fat bombs. I did in the very beginning, but I don't really need to do them much anymore. But if you're transitioning from the standard American diet to the keto diet, you can sort of make little treats, fat bomb treats, which might be a bridge to help you till you get used to eating this way. The monounsaturated fats. They are great for keto. My favorite is extra virgin olive oil. It's very rich in anti-inflammatory properties and rich in polyphenols. And then there's avocado oil. I never used avocado oil. I use it almost every day now. It is great I'll make mayonnaise out of it. And when I have to saute or fry anything, I will use avocado oil because it has a higher smoke point and it's very versatile, doesn't have a lot of taste. It could be in salad dressings, you can use it in baking. And then finally there's macadamia nut oil. We know they're high in monounsaturated fats. It has a buttery taste. And I think I don't use it, but people say they drizzle it over food. But before we dive into the worst fats for the ketogenic diet, I think it's important that we take a look at the history of seed oils and chronic disease. And really, it was one of the worst dietary catastrophes in the history of the US, of the world, actually. So I'm going to share this graph with you. It's showing the consumption of seed oils in red and the introduction of when the seed oils came into our diets. And you can see that it's almost parallel. And so we know there's definitely a correlation. While that doesn't mean it was causation, there's more and more evidence to suggest that is actually the case. But as you look in the early 1900s, seed oils didn't even exist in traditional diets. People cooked with butter, lard, tallow, and heart disease was rare. We didn't have Alzheimer's. And then in 1911, Procter & Gamble introduced Crisco, which is hydrogenated cottonseed oil. It was a byproduct, and it was marketed as a healthier alternative to lard. And then in the 1940s and 50s, there was a war on saturated fat. President Eisenhower had a heart attack, and the scientists blamed it on animal fats. And we know today that that was based on faulty science. But nonetheless, the American Heart Association promoted vegetable oils instead. And meanwhile, food companies made billions pushing corn, soybean oil, and canola oils into our homes. And then in the 1970s, that was the low-fat movement in the early 1970s. It exploded, and seed oils replaced natural fats in processed foods. The result? Obesity, diabetes, heart disease skyrocketed. Seed oil consumption increased by 1,000% in the last century, alongside chronic inflammation and metabolic disease. And if I'm going to put on my primal hat, that 100 years has not given our bodies enough time from an evolutionary standpoint to adapt to these oils, and that's why it's causing all these chronic diseases. It takes much more time. Maybe eventually we will, but I personally, in my own journey, realized how dramatic my health changed by eliminating them from my diet. So let's talk about why these bad oils, these seed oils or vegetable oils, are so bad. Well, they cause inflammation and oxidative stress and metabolic dysfunction. Okay, so inside each cell is the mitochondria, and the mitochondria is the furnace, if you will, of the cell. It takes in fats and glucose and it converts it to energy. All right, and if that's where it's new science that we're really seeing where a lot of this damage is occurring is at the mitochondrial level. And if the cell, it can't do its job, so the liver cell performs a specific job. It's different than what the heart cell does versus what the muscle does. And if that's starting to accumulate, then you'll start seeing dysfunction in that organ. Okay, so these seed oils are found in processed foods and restaurant cooking, It's very pervasive, and it's hard if you have a diet, if you eat out a lot, if you eat fast food a lot, you can't avoid those processed seed oils. So let's dive into it a little deeper and why bad fats wreck your health. Well, if I had to sum it up in one word, I would say inflammation. And so that's why I put that first. Chronic inflammation and disease. Seed oils like soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil are high in omega-6, fueling inflammation, arthritis, and autoimmune diseases. So if you have any kind of inflammation in your body, so I was a physical therapist. For 30 some years, I did a lot of manual therapy. I have arthritis right here in this finger, this joint. I'm on plan, I can move it, no pain. If I go out to eat and they made some of my food with this bad oil, immediately by the next day, I have trouble bending that finger. I mean, that's how dramatic it is for me anyway. If you indulge a little bit, it's a holiday, and I try some stuffing at Thanksgiving dinner, and I increase my carbs too, I will also know that increases my inflammation. So there are some folks out there that have autoimmune issues, and essentially what an autoimmune issue is that the body perceives something that is in your body as foreign, and it launches an inflammatory response. And so if you couple that with these inflammatory oils, then it just makes the condition worse. And many people go on what's called a carnivore diet, which is a very strict, essentially no carbs, as an elimination diet, and eat only animal products. And that sometimes eliminates or minimizes their autoimmune issues. It's very powerful. So even if you have a plain old football injury that comes back to annoy you, it's going to hurt worse if you're consuming these bad oils. The second thing, insulin resistance and diabetes. The polyunsaturated fats, or seed oils, impair insulin signaling, which leads to obesity, diabetes, and metabolic syndrome. It's a major contributing factor. So just getting rid of these in your diet can help you reverse. If you do nothing else, it can help reverse these conditions. Heart disease. It is not heart healthy. They are not heart healthy. These seed oils oxidize and they go rancid. And so these oils oxidize, and trans fats, these trans fats, both of them, will damage arteries and increase plaque buildup, and also oxidize your LDL, which is your low density lipoprotein, or supposedly the bad cholesterol. You will experience brain fog and cognitive decline. This is huge. I'll tell you, one of the first benefits I noticed on the ketogenic diet was my energy level and the brain fog that has gone away. So I've been a professor for 32 years, and my brain was what I used. I mean, everybody uses their brain every day, but I did brain work all day long, okay? And so I would feel fatigue, I would have brain fog. We know now that type 2 Alzheimer's is called type 3 diabetes. So the insulin resistance comes in with neurological symptoms and memory loss, depression, poor focus. And working with I've spent 32 years with college-age kids, and you can't, I think there's a lot of factors, it's multifactorial, but you couldn't help but notice the challenges that our young adults are now having with anxiety and depression. I would say in the last 10 years, maybe 15 years, but really it has amped up over the last 10 years. And then finally, the gut, skin, and hormones disruptions. So seed oils lead to leaky gut. They cause acne, eczema, and hormonal imbalances. Okay, these are the fats that you want to avoid completely because, again, they're high in omega-6, which drives inflammation. They're easily oxidized. They damage your arteries, and they're found in fast food, dressings, chips, snacks, even keto snacks. So you have to be careful and read your labels. So the highly processed seed and vegetable oils are, and what they do is they heat it up. They process it with high heat, and then they smell, and they have to deodorize them with chemicals. There's a documentary out there somewhere on the internet or on YouTube I watched once. You really should take a look at it. So you want to avoid completely corn oil. Okay, we know it's so genetically modified. It's not the corn of yesteryear. Soybean oil. Soybean oil, 50% of all these bad oils comes from soybean oil in the United States. Soybean oil is everywhere. And to give you an example, my husband uses a certain creamer in his coffee, which it actually had cream in it. So I was thrilled. It had sugar in it. I was not thrilled about that, but it had cream. And I went to buy it for him, which goes against my judgment, but I went to buy it for him, and I noticed it had a new look to it. And I'm like, uh-oh. And I brought it home, and I said, they changed, the packaging. And I looked on the back, and they took out the heavy cream, and they put in the soybean oil for the fat. And so watch your coffee, whatever you mix in with your coffee. Sunflower oil, canola oil. Canola oil was something I baked with all the time and fried food in. It is not heart healthy. Cottonseed oil, grapeseed oil, rice bran oil, peanut oil, all of these oils have high omega-6 fats. We need both omega-6 and omega-3. So the standard American diet, let's just say that, or the SAD diet, the ratio between omega-6 and omega-3 is now at least 20-1. So other worst fats you want to avoid completely for keto. And I just want to mention here, even if there's someone in your family that is not on keto, if you get rid of all of these seed oils, these trans fats, they're going to grow up healthier. They're going to be metabolically well. Their neurological system is going to perform better. Their mental health is going to be better. Okay, they may not need to lose weight, and they'll be, if they are metabolically well, then they won't need to. Okay, but I just want everybody to realize whether or not this is not strictly to ketogenic diet. This is for everyone, but doing this as part of your ketogenic diet by lowering carbs and getting rid of these bad fats and adding good saturated fat, monounsaturated fats, is like a 1-2 punch to all these chronic diseases associated with that inflammation. Okay, so it's great for everyone, but really will improve your results on keto. And so trans fats and hydrogenated oils, again, vegetable shortening Crisco, again, it makes a great pie crust, but don't use it anymore. So get rid of the margarine, get rid of the vegetable shortening, get rid of the partially hydrogenated oils found in processed foods. We knew that margarine and the trans fats, that was really a culprit in cardiac disease. And you want to get rid of the refined and processed vegetable oils. So blended vegetable oils and generic frying oils in restaurants are pretty much the bad seed oils. And what I will say is, even if you see something that says keto friendly, that doesn't mean it's not using these bad oils. You've got to look at everything. It's just that pervasive. You can find them, and if you are interested in me doing a video on that, I can show you all the different things that are very keto friendly and put that in a video because I've done all that homework already. So let me know that. Drop a comment at the end of the video. So I was stuck in a cycle of inflammation and cravings, and I had stubborn weight that I couldn't get rid of. And once I ditched the seed oils, I added healthy fats and embraced keto, my body transformed. I did lose 90 pounds, and I did reverse my insulin resistance and regain my energy. And trust me, if I can do it, you can do it.